I want to welcome you to this presentation where I'll be demonstrating how the MERLOT Content Builder is being utilized to assess programmatic outcomes in the Master of Science in Global eLearning program offered at Texas A&M University Commerce. This slide here provides a good overview of our programmatic learning outcomes in this Global eLearning program. And you'll see here where we've got the Aston model graphic that we're using to place our programmatic outcomes on top of, just kind of laying that over. So you see we have the cognitive and affective domains, and then the psychological and behavioral. And each of our programmatic outcomes fits in these areas, and we have a brief description of what we're looking at and measuring in each of those programmatic outcomes, and then an assignment or assignments that we use to assess those outcomes. And so this focus obviously will be on the MERLOT Content Builder, and you see several of our different programmatic outcomes are focused using the and assessed using the MERLOT Content Builder, and we will demonstrate how that is done during this presentation. The program level assessment strategies include pre and post test designs. We do things with cultural fluency, cultural awareness inventory, as you see in the fourth bullet point. Same with servant leadership inventories. We're developing that at this point. So we go through those and measure student learning and assessing that as in a pre and post test design at the beginning of their program, and then when they're finishing up in the capstone course. We have group reviews. Students have an Epsilon e-portfolio that they have that's theirs for life to keep with them and to continue to build and add artifacts to that as they continue to build their digital portfolio. Like I said, we have the cultural awareness inventory. We're developing the servant leadership inventory to measure that and to help us with gauging our students' progress in that area on our programmatic outcome. And then we also have projects and case studies. Three out of our 6 programmatic outcomes are being assessed using the MERLOT Content Builder, using different strategies, which we'll discuss as we go through the presentation. But as you can see, we have the group review, obviously the portfolio of student artifacts and content web pages that they built using Content Builder, as well as their projects and case studies. Couple of examples that we'll include on this presentation include 2 of our courses in our Global eLearning program, the Transformational Leadership course and the Theories of Adult Learning course. We'll discuss those more in the next slides coming up. In the Transformational Leadership course, the MERLOT assignment is as follows, as we've listed it here. We have 4 different steps that students will use and need to follow as they build the MERLOT webpage, and they are going to pick out a transformational leader that they find interesting, and they follow through on the steps and go into Content Builder, develop their MERLOT webpage, and then they will post a link using the workshop feature in our course management system, and we're using the Moodle course management system. But once they post their link, then we can give those to their classmates in an assignment that randomly assigns them 3 to 4 different web pages, MERLOT web pages, to do a peer review to get some practice and provide some feedback to the students. And we'll discuss that as we go into the next few slides. Now here's the instructions that students will follow for their peer review using the workshop feature that we've added in Moodle. to assess their classmates' MERLOT projects. And here you see the different things that we are asking them to pay attention to, and to make sure that they are followed all the instructions to get their information posted, and then as well as instructions on using the rubric and providing feedback on that as well. Now here's an example from the Theories of Adult Learning course student, and she developed her MERLOT webpage using Content Builder on the topic of andragogy, following the model of Malcolm Knowles. And so you see she's got many different boxes here in her web page, as well as links and things like that that she's added in, as well as some voiceover videos that viewers can hit and click and play and listen to her presentation. Here's another example from the Theories of Adult Learning course, and this student here is looking at different theories of teaching and learning. She developed a lot of different things here on her own, some that she created, some that she added in from other sites. One thing that I find really interesting here is a student here utilized VoiceThread to get some feedback from those who are viewing her page, and just to ask them an open-ended discussion question, so just to get some feedback. So here you see on these last two slides some couple of really good examples of how MERLOT Content Builder was used in our courses to help us with our programmatic assessment. MERLOT provides us an excellent platform to not only show but also preserve our students' ability to meet each of our programmatic outcomes in a final artifact in their portfolio. And as you know, we showed earlier on the presentation, used MERLOT for 3 of the programmatic outcomes, but in reality, we're really able to demonstrate all 6. Even though for this presentation we focused on the 3, metacognition, students' ability to put things together, synthesize their thoughts, and to include those on a web page. Obviously, communication, being able to communicate digitally, digital fluency, being able to interact with the content builder, uploading content to the digital content builder in MERLOT, as well as publishing it. Cultural fluency, as well, creating an opportunity for others around the world, with MERLOT being international and in all these different countries of South America, Latin America, Africa, Europe, all over Europe and Asia as well. Obviously, servant leadership, with the opportunity for students to interact with each other and doing peer review, and then lifelong learning as well, and students being able to build a skill set to continue and work on developing MERLOT pages for educational content for themselves, as well as for others that they would work with and be teaching with. We're very excited to include GRAPE Camp peer review training for our students to help us as a measurement resource for our programmatic outcomes as well. GRAPE for MERLOT stands for Getting Reviewers Accustomed to the Process of Evaluation, and this will provide our students peer review training through the MERLOT Professional Development Program of GRAPE Camp. And our students will then receive a certification, as well as the opportunity to go in and peer review for MERLOT, other pages that have been developed, provide feedback and input, and then also will be better equipped and trained for doing peer reviews within our program. And so this is going to be a great way for us to help us with our measurement and assessment model for our global e-learning program. And so we are very excited to have GRAPE Camp. We're going to use the asynchronous version and have our students go through that over the 3-module program, or 3 weeks. Here we're demonstrating how the GRAPE Camp will provide us a means to measure 6 of our programmatic outcomes as we get that up and running in our program. Metacognition, with our students doing that in their content expertise area where they're assessing and evaluating works of others. Communication, obviously they'll be interacting with their peers, providing feedback. Digital fluency, really this is what MERLOT is all about. This is this exciting piece here of MERLOT and its digital repository and development and accessibility for all of us on the digital platform. Cultural fluency, we spoke of earlier with the international community, with MERLOT Africa, MERLOT South America, Chile, over in the Europe as well, and around the Pacific and Asia. So good opportunities for developing relationships internationally for our students. And then servant leadership, as Dr. Hanley always says, give a gift, not a burden, and really is a good mantra and fits well within our model as well here in our program. And lifelong learning, getting the peer review certification, continuing to progress and to work and develop skill sets for our students. MERLOT provides us an exciting opportunity, and so we're happy to share this with you and hopefully provide some inspiration for you as you work on assessing your programmatic outcomes, and hopefully this model will be a benefit. Thank you for attending and watching this presentation.